KZN emergency services are still trying to retrieve the body of one of 3 people who were reported missing last night in the uMshwathi municipality. Search and rescue teams are still at the scene trying to locate 2 others. That's after heavy rains flooded their homes. The severe conditions follow a warning from the South African Weather Service. The Human Settlements Department in the province says they are also likely to visit the affected communities throughout the day. These are live pictures of that ongoing search and recovery effort. SABC News reporter Nonhlakanipho Magwaza is part of our team, also watching things closely there. And Nonhlakanipho, those teams have been at work for hours now. Help us get a sense of whether or not they're making any headway.
Good morning again, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. So far, the mud, the debris, it's making things difficult for the emergency services who are trying to extract the body. What I did see, Ayanda, is the drone that they're using, the new technology that the uMgungundlovu Fire and Rescue Team is using, and they can see where the body is located. It is stuck in between rubble down underneath at the bank there. So they were trying to cut trees and remove anything that is on top of the body before trying to extract the body whole without breaking the body apart. But as you can see, they have been at the rescue efforts since the early hours of the morning. They tried sawing the debris and the logs and some of the trees, and the saw broke at some point. They had to fix it before carrying on. As you can see, Ayanda, they are trying different ways to try and extract the body that is stuck underneath there. And community members are out in full force trying to see whether or not the body will be extracted, will be removed from where it is stuck. Because from what I saw on the pictures of the drone, unfortunately it's not for sensitive viewers, so we can't ask them to show it to our viewers. The body is stuck in between a rock and some pile of debris. So I gather it was when it was washed off the house, it lodged in between the debris and the rocks. However, we do have some community members with us here, Ayanda. One of them, one of the missing bodies is a relative from the Eastern Cape, and one of them is a community member who has been here since the morning trying to locate the bodies. Sanibona sinamukela ohlelweni lethu. Mhlambe masusichazela kade sikhuluma nawe lasingakangena ohlelweni usho ukuthi kubhekwa ilungu lomndeni wakho. Mhlambe mangasusichazela ukuthi kwenzakalani, uhlala nobani la ehlala khona?
Okay, lo obhekwayo ulungile Bhonswayo wase Eastern Cape eMvenyane. Izolo kungene amanzi la ehlala khona, sazama ukumbheka asangamthola kusukela izolo ebusuku asimtholi aphanthina namhlanje sikakamtholi. Sakalaza ukuthi ngalapha kuqhume amabesho ukuthi baqiqhuma amadamu. Yebo.
Mhlambe wena baba njengoba kade usho nawo ukuthi njengolungu lomphakathi kusukela ekseni nibhekana nemizimba nisiza abantu laba bezime eziphuthumayo. Mangasusichazele nje njengomlungu lomphakathi ukuthi umphakathi ubumbane kangakanani ukuze ulekelele nawo ekubhekeni imizimba.
Ake ngibikelele ngiphinde ngibonge kakhulu umphakathi nezinhlaka zonke zikahulumeni ezikhona la eMshwathi esigamekweni esenzakalile. Kubhlungu kakhulu kuloko suke ekseni siyabheka siyahlonza ukuthi ngabe laba abomndeni nama abamalungu omphakathi akuvekelele isigameko sesikhukhula esingasazi siqhamuke kanjani kuphi. Sisabheka noma yedwa kwamanje kuba abatakulayo basasiza enhlakeni zikahulumeni, kodwa njengamanje sisabhizi futhi kuzofanele ukuthi bhekwe omunye umfowethu okumanje ongakatholakali.
Mhlambe njoba uthi omunye umfowethu shuthi bangakhe abangakatholakali enibaziyo nini?
Esingaqinisekisa njengamanje ukuthi babili abasafanele babhekwe abangakatholakali, oyedwa nangu uyatholakala, ababili esingakakunaso isiqiniseko ukuthi ngabe babhajwe kuphi, kodwa sisamisela ukuthi umphakathi njengoba uphumile ukuthi sihlonze sibheke, kodwa isiphetho sifisa ukuthi sigcine sibatholile ngoba kwenzakalile kubhlungu.
Asibuyele kuwena sisiwami ukuthi njengoba uthi ulahlekele kusukela izolo nimbheka uhlala yedwa endlini mhlawumbe kube nomanye amalungu omndeni isimo sakhe sinjani?
Uhlala yedwa lapha endlini ngoba ubeqashile la ehlala khona. Ukhona kodwa uma wengane ukhona but bengahlali naye endlini. Yebo.
Mhlambe ngokuzwa kwenu khona yini mhlambe umkhondo la ubheka ngakhona ukuthi mhlambe ngenze ukuthi umfula umphosele ngakhona?
Hayi ilutho kusukela izolo nje ake sibheka kuze kube namhlanje nje asitholi lutho. Ngikhulumela na behalf of ama colleagues wami. Bewumsebenzi wethu futhi at the same time sihambile sibheka yonke indawo. Bakhona nawo ama colleagues la siyabheka ilutho. Yeah.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Those are two community members. One of them, it's her brother, her colleague, who is still missing. And the other community member, it's just a community member who has been helping with the efforts of trying to locate the two bodies that are still missing. One lady is saying that the guy, he was renting a place here at uMshwathi. He was working around the uMshwathi municipality. He is from the Eastern Cape. His body is not yet recovered. And she and her colleagues as well, because they all work together, they have been searching since the morning and they are devastated because they have not found the body as yet. As well as the community member, the guy who spoke to, he says that since the morning, community members have been gathering, trying to locate the bodies of the two remaining people who are still missing here. As you can see, Ayanda, the efforts are still continuing here at uMshwathi. I think this is called Inja something, a river here at uMshwathi. My apologies, I forgot the name. And I did see that they have launched the rescue boats to try and go down the river to search for the other remaining two bodies here that have not yet been recovered. Back to you in studio, Ayanda.
Nonhlakanipho, before we let you go, I'm hoping you're still able to hear us. Are you able to give us a lay of the land, so to speak, of where you are? How far, for example, is this river from where the residents live?
It is quite a distance, Ayanda, because when we got to the river, we had to walk quite a distance. It's about a kilometer from where the houses are, where the river, where the body has been found. And the place where we walked in, it is quite muddy, hence we were wearing our gumboots. I'm thinking that as they're clearing, they have now been able to extract the body where it has been stuck. They will be lifting the body soon, from what I'm gathering, the emergency services. Oh, they have brought in a TLB to try and remove the rubble. And that's why they are trying to remove people away from the sites. As you can see, that the TLB is making its way to where the rescue team was trying to remove the rubble and extract the body. So I'm thinking that they're trying to get the TLB to come and help in the efforts of removing the rubble and removing the debris on top of the body of the woman that is stuck down there, Ayanda.
We're going to try to stay with your pictures for a little longer, Nonhlakanipho, to see how this process unfolds. In the interim, of course, I imagine what's top of mind for many residents there is that this is just an all too familiar sight. We have many instances where we reported of flooding in KwaZulu-Natal. What's your sense as a reporter in that region of how good government in particular is getting, if at all, in responding to such incidents?
And from what we've gathered from the residents in this area, this is the first time such a thing has happened. They're experiencing this for the first time. They usually see it on TV in other areas where flooding has occurred, and this is the first time that they are seeing this. And a government response, I must say, Ayanda, has been swift since the municipality launched rescue teams, sent out rescue teams since last night to try and help residents whose homes were washed away by the water or the river or the heavy rains from last night. And from what we've gathered from speaking to authorities, the mayor as well as MEC Duma, this is not the only place in this area that was affected. There is another area, I believe it was Ward 3, where bridge was washed away, and the mayor said that the Department of Transport acted very swiftly in trying to salvage that situation. And as I said earlier, when we were coming this side, there were debris, there was mud on the road, preventing us from coming through to where we are. So we had to walk quite a distance to where the rescue team is. And they are saying that they tried to house the people in halls and schools. However, they did not stay overnight because some of them they are not eligible for RDP houses or TRUs as they are undocumented foreigners. As you can see, the TLB is now making its way to where they are trying to extract the body of the woman who is stuck there at the riverbank.
All right, if you've just joined us, it's 22 minutes after 11 o'clock. These are live pictures coming to you from an area called uMshwathi in KwaZulu-Natal. It's not too far from Pietermaritzburg in the province, where you're watching an active search and recovery effort that's underway. These teams bolstering their efforts by bringing in this truck to try and remove the debris, because the body of one of 3 people who had been reported missing yesterday has now been located. But it seems extracting that body has proven to be quite difficult. These teams have been at it for hours now, since early this morning, and they're still struggling to bring the body of, we understand, this young woman who's been located today. She was apparently a tenant in a property that is not too far from what was a river that had dried up, but of course had water flowing through it once again because of heavy rains overnight. Nonhlakanipho Magwaza is part of our team who's been bringing us our coverage as we continue watching this operation continue. And Nonhlakanipho, part of the concern here is that more heavy rains are predicted for the hours ahead. What's your sense as we watch this operation continue about how close the downpours are? Are there any heavy clouds gathering there above you?
Oh, it is drizzling now and again here where we are. When we are coming this side, we saw a bit of drizzle, and as we were standing before we spoke to you, there is 1 or 2 drops of rain coming. The clouds are very heavy. It looks like it will continue to rain tonight. However, we did speak to Kokta. They did say that there is no warning in place for this area today, but in the northern parts of the province. And when we spoke to Kokta, we'll speak to them later on. They said that this is not the area, the only area that has been affected by the heavy rains from last night. So I'm assuming it is starting to rain. Not just a drizzle, it's now like a continuous drizzle. So I'm assuming that anytime the clouds will open up and the rain will come.
Which will obviously...
As you can see, the drone that the...
Go ahead, Nonhlakanipho.
No, I was just saying that, as you can see, that the drone that they are using is now directing the rescue teams as to where the TLB is going to dig, so that it doesn't mistakenly dig into the body where it is, because they are unable to see or go down themselves where the body is. They are relying on the visuals of the drone to try and locate where the body and where to actually remove the rubble that is on top of the body of the woman that is stuck at the riverbank.
Gosh, it really sounds like quite a complex operation. We're staying with your visuals still, Nonhlakanipho, as we watch to see how it unfolds. Of course, we're very aware that as soon as the body itself is being retrieved, we can't really show that to our viewers for a wide range of reasons, including, of course, to maintain the dignity of the deceased. But what do we know, Nonhlakanipho, if anything at all, about what's going to happen with the many people who've now lost their homes, given how widespread the flooding there was and how damaging it's been in some respects?
Well, speaking to the MEC for Human Settlements, Mr. Duma, he said that he is liaising with the municipality. He is liaising with the municipality to try and find suitable land to build TRUs, or temporary housing, for the people who have lost their homes. For now, they have not quantified how many families have been displaced, but they are estimating that it's over 100 families, including the foreign nationals. However, Mr. Duma did say that because they are undocumented, they will be unable to provide shelter for them. Hence, they are still looking for suitable land to build these TRUs. But for now, they are housed at the local hall as well as a local school. However, some of them did not stay overnight, as the mayor said earlier. They found a refuge in relatives' homes, and some neighbors took them in. So for now, that is what we got from Human Settlements, that they will be building TRUs. And he did mention that the Minister of Human Settlements will be coming down next week to visit the area.
All right, Nonhlakanipho Magwaza is doing a sterling job helping us get a better sense of how the search and recovery effort is ongoing. The body of a woman has now been located, but it's a bit difficult to try and remove her, to retrieve the body, I beg your pardon, given the rubble that has accumulated around it. We understand that the remains are stuck between the debris and one big rock, complicating the ability of these officials to try and retrieve it from the body of water that is not necessarily visible to you and I, but it's just over the embankment, where some officials are trying to, of course, bring it to the surface. We actually had the Premier of the province, Tamin Duli, commenting about this earlier on after, of course, being posed questions about how the province is supporting this effort. We also heard from the MEC of the province. Let's take you back to some of their sentiments as we continue watching the search and recovery operation continue. Take a listen.
I was about to make a comment on the tragedy that has taken place, wherein three people went missing and one has been recovered, but having passed on. And I have been informed that it's still sinking in the sand, are still trying to remove the body. What is unfortunate is that the victims, they were tenants of one of the family, Ntuli's family. Unfortunately, the cottages that they were using, they were built in the bank of the river. As a result, they were washed away while they were inside the cottages. We are sending our condolences to the families that are affected and to the people of KwaZulu-Natal at large. And we are urging that our citizens must really respond to the alerts and even to our call, because we've been on record saying there is a need to relocate some buildings which are in dangerous areas, flooding areas in the banks of the river. Hence, if that had to be a call to be responded to quite urgently, maybe we might be speaking a different language, not to say we've lost lives. But our teams, led by the Department of Culture, are on the ground to work with other sectors to search for other bodies and to try and remove the body that has been discovered, and to ensure that the people are safe in that area. It's unfortunate that the number of properties were affected by this flooding. And we are hopeful to receive the report before the end of today as to the quantification of the extent of the damage that actually took place during these floods.
There was a heavy storm that took place yesterday, and unfortunately, for those who don't understand, we already declared it in some areas. This is amongst the areas it was supposed to be taking place in other areas as well. So it did have an impact. We're already on the ground. The minister has delegated the team. I've already spoken to the mayor and the councillor. Let us identify an area for TRUs. We are just going to do that. And the minister is coming here next week on Monday. Because we take this serious, we understand the disaster already. What does it mean? Which is why yesterday we were communicating with the leadership of uMshwathi, saying that identify an area where they could be accommodated temporarily. And we are glad and delighted that those who qualified do qualify. But the verification process is among other things, because there is a contrast already. We have identified that in these formal settlements, there was a lot of foreign guys who can't be verified. So it's something of the foreign national, something that we must deal with. But those who built in the flood line are going to cause a problem. We must adhere to such rules, and we are always declaring in such areas. Almost 100, but we are just going to confirm during the day and when we've done the process, because our team is also doing that process as we speak. So for now we have confirmed that relatively plus or minus 100, and we are going to ensure that whoever qualifies is afforded the proper space.
It was a heavy rain according to my understanding. All what people are just trying to say is unconfirmed. So we won't be talking about unconfirmed issues. To us, it's about the heavy rain. It was just a quick storm which happened, took about 30 minutes. And that can happen when we talk of flash rains. It can happen.
All right, so you've just heard there from three important officials who, of course, have an interest in seeing through that the messaging around what's taking place in New Hanover is accurate. We've heard from the mayor of that particular area, as well as the MEC of the province for cooperative governance, Boniso Duma, and the premier of the province in Ntuli. You're once again watching live visuals of that search and recovery effort as it continues, and there seems to be movement now after the body of a woman was identified in the river not too far from where our colleagues are currently standing. They had brought in that TLB truck that you see is now moving out the way after it had cleared the debris, or at least attempted to do that, in order to retrieve the body of this person, who's one of three who was reported missing last night when those heavy downpours came down on that community. Nonhlakanipho Magwaza, as part of the SABC news team, watching from a close vantage point. She's mentioned earlier that in her engagement with residents around this area, they say nothing like this has happened, in fact. But of course, you and I know all too well the story around flooding in KwaZulu-Natal, which seems to be more of a seasonal occurrence than an anomaly. If you just think back to the last 3-4 years, often we come to this province around this time of the year to report of how heavy downpours have left a trail of destruction, and as is the case, like in this particular case, has caused fatalities. We'll certainly get you a sense of what is likely to unfold moving forward. But let's bring Nonhlakanipho Magwaza back with us once again. And Nonhlakanipho, it seems there is some kind of movement. I see this TLB truck now moving slightly backwards. Help us get a better sense of what you're able to see from your vantage point.
Yes, Ayanda, the body has just been retrieved from the river banks. They managed to remove the debris on top of the woman. It looks like it's an old woman that was stuck between the rock and and the debris. As you can see that the mayor is asking that the crowd does not take any visuals of the body because people are now taking out their phones and trying to get the visuals, trying to take videos of the body and post them on social media. So the mayor is now urging and asking people not to take any videos of the body. As you can see that they are trying now to cover the body. The rescue team as well as disaster management teams are now surrounding the body so that no one is able to see or take any visuals of the body or to identify the body before the family has been notified of the deceased. That the woman has been deceased. We were trying to get the fire department to come and speak to us. I can see now that they are quite busy just to get a sense of how the drone assisted them in trying to locate and the woman who was stuck at the riverbank. As you can see that they are still trying to search for the remaining two bodies that are still missing from last night's flood. Ayanda.
All right, once again, these are live visuals of the situation in New Hanover. It's an area in the uMshwathi local municipality, not too far from Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal, where we've been watching for a few minutes now the active search and recovery effort. We understand that the body of a woman that had been located earlier today has now been successfully retrieved from the river close by. And what had complicated that effort is that there had been debris, we understand, close to the body itself. And that's why they had brought in the truck on your screen there. Nonhlakanipho Magwaza is part of our team who is watching and listening in very closely to what's taking place there. And Nonhlakanipho, I hear you saying that you might have located the emergency services officials who are also on the ground.
Yes. Yes, we have Ayanda. We did manage to get a hold of him. He is with me here right now. We've just tried to get a sense of how difficult the rescue efforts were here this morning. So we did see that you guys were using a drone to try and locate where exactly the body is. If you can just take us through your rescue efforts this morning.
Thank you. Our rescue efforts were a bit challenging. Why? Because the body was stuck under a big log or tree. We had to cut that tree using our chainsaws. Luckily we have infused modern technology, drone technology within our service, of our services. So it really helped us a lot in locating the body. Furthermore, we also requested the uMshwathi local municipality mayor to organize for us TLP, which he did, and TLP actually assisted us a great deal in lifting this big tree that was really pressing over this female body, sadly. The body has been recovered, has been retrieved. Pathology services is dealing with it now. Our effort has been not in vain. We started at around 5 o'clock this morning. We're still going to search for other two missing individuals.
Now we see that it is already starting to rain. Will this not hamper search and rescue efforts for the remaining two bodies?
We hope and pray that it will not hamper our effort in trying to locate the other bodies. We will see what the nature has in store for us. But the search and rescue, it's continuing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
That was the Umgungundlovu Fire and Search and Rescue team saying that they had to bring in the assistant of a TLB to remove a log. I kept saying debris, but it was actually a huge log that was pressing on top of the body of the woman. And he did say that they used a chainsaw to try and cut through that log earlier on, but the chainsaw only went so far. That's why they had to call in the TLB to try and help assist in removing the log on top of the body, and the body has now been removed. So search and rescue teams are now putting their efforts in searching for the remaining 2 bodies that still have not been found, Ayanda.
Yeah, many people who have been watching us, Nonhlakanipho, for the past couple of minutes would have been hearing of uMshwathi for the first time. Help us get a better sense of the kind of landscape that municipality is over. You know, is this a relatively rural part of town, or is there a fair amount of development around you there?
It is a rural part of town, but there is also development around the area, so you can say it's a semi-rural area. However, where we are, it's quite muddy. It's not developed. I believe they use this place as a ground for children to play. But coming this side, it was quite muddy. There's no tar road. It's mud road, so we had to trudge through that mud road to come and witness the rescue efforts in this area. However, the bridge that was stuck, where the bridge that was cordoned off earlier on, the TLB also assisted in removing some of that mud from the river, because what we are told is that the river, it washed over the bridge and it caused rubble, logs and a lot of dirt to cover the bridge, making it inaccessible for vehicles to pass through. So yes, it is, you can say, a semi-rural area. Some development, not much development. It's further away from town, though, here at uMshwathi. Back to you in studio, Ayanda.
All right, Nonhlakanipho Magwaza, let's leave it there. Watching the developments, of course, from uMshwathi, more specifically in the area of New Hanover. That's where the body of a woman has now been retrieved after 3 people were reported missing last night. The search and recovery effort to locate the 2 other missing people, we're told, will continue. And this is, of course, against the backdrop of really difficult circumstances. For one, there are heavy clouds hovering around that particular operation, which means that the rains that were predicted may very well descend on that area in a couple minutes' time, and that may very well complicate that particular mission. But as soon as there's any other movement, we'll certainly bring that to you here on the SABC News Channel.